about basics of Netapp, mostly NAS. Okay, mostly NAS. What we'll talk about. We'll talk about different cluster concepts. What is ADP, Advanced Drive Partitioning? Okay, so what is
What is called advanced?
Advanced Drive Partitioning?
Spell it D for.
Advanced Drive
Okay, drive partition. Okay.
Partitioning. Okay, and we'll talk about what is aggregate, how do you create aggregates. Okay, aggregate means it's a storage pool in other in other vendors. We talk about networks. Okay, so what is subnet, uh, so all those things. What is vserver, how do you configure svm vserver, what is cfs and nfs protocol, how do you do that. Okay, so one by one we'll do that. Okay, and mostly what you do is in Netapp, right? In Netapp, it supports many protocols. Okay, so let me just check here. 100%. Yeah. So it supports FC protocol, which is nothing but SAN. Okay, iSCSI, which is also SAN, but it uses instead of SAN switches, it uses network switches. Okay, and you do not need to do zoning in iSCSI. Okay,
Okay.
iSCSI, and then you can have NFS, V3, V4, V1. You can have CIFS, SMB protocol, SMB1 and SMB2 are supported. Okay, you can have NVMe. NVMe is also another one, which is like you'll have the hardware will be like very cheap, but you want better performance. So they have the E series, NetApp E series. There we have NVMe. Okay, and then we have Object, which is S3. Okay, we'll also have S3. What else? Yeah, so these are
S3
the
is in the Amazon. Am I right? S3 is the S3 bucket. Am I right?
yeah, but every vendor is coming up with object storage.
What is object? Is a file or is a block?
No, it's object storage is like whatever object you are having, you are just uploading it. Suppose you have some file or folder or something, right? You are
Is
uploading to a
unstructured
bucket.
data? Is it unstructured data?
Yeah, it's unstructured data and it is like active archiving.
So it is file. Is a file. Am I right? File or
It's
NFS you can say.
no. It's not it's object. It's not CIFS. It's like suppose you want to take backup, right? So in backup, what you do? You take backup, and then you restore from backup, right? When you need it. Active archiving is like it is faster. Restoring is faster. It's just keeping the data in some bucket. Okay, we'll talk about
Okay.
this when we configure storage grade. So
Okay.
S3 is like storage grade. Okay, in NetApp
Okay.
storage grade. Okay, so these are the things we do in NetApp. Okay, and the main thing in NetApp is it supports this many protocols. Another thing is that NetApp it comes with clusters. Cluster means if one node is suppose it's a two node cluster. Okay, so if one node is down, other node is there to perform all other functions. Like suppose you have two nodes. So node 1 is having disk shell 1 connected to disk shell 1. Let me give you some picture. Pent. Okay. So this one, this one. Okay. It will not come like this. Okay, no problem. So this is node 1, this is node 2. Okay, so this node 1 is having, it's directly connecting disk shelf 1, disk shelf 2, node 2 is disk shelf 2, this one. Okay, suppose you are creating aggregate, data aggregate on this node. Okay, aggregate is nothing but storage pool, and then aggregate is having disk from disk shelves. Okay, which is what, which is having node 1. Okay, like which is owned by node 1. And one second, চুপ করতে পারো না, যাও না। And the disk node 2 is having this shelf 3 and this shelf 4. Okay, and you have some aggregate. So what happens, suppose the node 1 is down, right? So still all the services will be done. Suppose here all the networks, everything is there, right? It will be migrated here automatically to this node. Okay, it will take like 1 to 2 minutes. And all the disk which is owned by this one, right? So this is the, this node will take over all the
It's
services.
type of failover, am I right?
Yeah, it's a failover. Yeah, it's a failover, and one this is up, then it will fall back. Like everything, like your aggregates, your disk, everything will fall back to here. Okay, and in between here also we have one component which is intercluster switches. Okay, it is difficult to, okay, here I think this is the better. This is intercluster switches. Okay, so it will be connected here, not this. So here it will connect here, it will connect here. Okay, so the cluster communications, the cluster communications will happen through this intercluster switches. Okay, intercluster switches. So this is intercluster, this is a cluster network, and this is data network. Okay, so suppose somebody wants to access some data, some server. So here it will be in between, you will also have some uh, network switches. Okay, so this is connecting to network switches, physically connected to network switches. And then, okay, the server is also connected to network switches. So this will for shares, right? So basically what will happen is that you'll, whenever you are creating some configuration, right, you'll be creating the configuration in such a way that in case the node is failed, right, so this node will have some port, this node will have some physical port, right? So physical port, so if this is down, then the leaf, I will show you what the leaf is. So it will fail over here. Okay, in case of NAS, but in case of SAN you don't record failover, because you'll be using multipath, you'll be using multipath. So from one node you'll be using, having one connection, another node you'll be having another connection. So if one node is down, the other node is already there. Okay, you'll be using multipath. So leaf, I will tell you what is leaf, what is what. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the picture. So data
So
will,
that as you told me that in the case of like NAS, it will do failover. Am I right? But
no,
if
not
it is
failover. No, not failover. I'm talking about leaf migration. That is different. Failover it will do for both SAN and NAS. That is not problem. Leaf migration. I will show this. Okay.
okay,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, I will show you. Let me go one by one. Okay. So one second. Okay. So Netapp storage controller, we call it as nodes. And when you create a like storage resource pool from node, it will be called as cluster. Okay. And let me tell you many things. One second. Let me first log into the command line. Row 0 is a command which you need to give, so that you get a nice format. If you do not give row 0, then whatever command you execute, you will not get the full output. Okay, understand? So let me just,
So when you're running this command, you are running. So when you're running this command, actually, HTTPS load.
HTTPS. One second. This one, right? You are talking about it. So this is the on-demand lab. On-demand lab we have in Netapp. So for this lab to have, what you need to do is, uh, if you are using Netapp, if your project has purchased Netapp, then you get to have on-demand labs. Okay, for both Netapp, Hitachi, EMC, or any storage. So once you get a project on Netapp, you'll be able to practice these things. Okay.
Like I can make my own password username.
No, no, you cannot make your own password username. No, no, no. You have to use whatever they are giving you. I mean, they will give you they will give you the credentials and everything, and you have to use the same thing. You cannot create your own. Okay. So what is cluster? A cluster is basically group of physical nodes. Okay, storage controller. Why do you need this? So that it is having high availability. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Netapp, we can have like on node cluster also, or you can have many node cluster. In case of SAN, okay, in case of SAN, we can have up to 12 node cluster, okay, maximum. But in case of NAS, only NAS supported, we can have up to 32, okay. So that is the thing.
NAS we have 32 clusters.
Yeah, we can have like cluster means 32 nodes. You can have 32 nodes in a maximum.
NAS cluster.
Yeah, for NAS, only serving NAS. For
And
SAN,
for SAN, how many?
sorry, not 32, 24, 24. Okay.
24 for the NAS.
Yeah, and SAN for 12, 12.
Okay, 24. Okay, 12 for SAN at 24. Sorry, 12 for SAN and 24 for NAS.
Yeah, SAN means it is supporting only FC and iSCSI protocol. Okay.
Okay.
But if you have some like very old model, old fast model, right? Then the maximum of 12 node, it will be less also. It can be less also. Okay, but normal, if you have like latest models, so maximum 12 nodes. Okay, for SAN.
Okay, sir.
Because some older models are there which supports less also. Okay, so let me give you some more concepts. So you know about RAID, right? RAID.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So RAID we need to aggregate the disk so that if some fault is there in one of the disk, so it can sustain the fault in a particular RAID group. Okay. So there are many RAID groups in the market. Different vendor, different storage uses different RAID groups. So in Netapp, right now we use this RAID group. Okay, RAID 4. RAID 4 will have one fixed parity. Okay, so it is basically like suppose you can say like one disk, one data disk, and one parity disk. Okay, this is the smallest RAID 4. Okay, and then you can have RAID DP. What is RAID DP? You will have two parity disk, two distributed parity disk, so it can protect you for two disk failures in a particular RAID group. Okay, and RAID
Okay.
TEC, so it will have three parity disk, so it will protect against three disk failure. So by default, whenever you are installing the ONTAP operating system, so what will happen initially? Let me show you this.
The RAID 4 is equal to RAID 1. Am I right? It work like RAID 1.
No, no, no. RAID 0 is striping. RAID 1 is mirroring. RAID 4 is not mirroring. I'm giving RAID 1, 1 plus 1. I'm giving it can be 2 plus 1 also. Okay, 2 plus 1. Two data disk, one parity disk. Okay. If it is mirroring, then one data, one parity. Okay. RAID DP. 2D plus, sorry, plus 2P. Okay, red TC 2D or 1D, you can say 1D plus 3P. Okay, so one data disk, three parity disk. Okay, so you're using, so what is happening is that for every write that you do, it is the parity is written on three disks, right? So it is having write latency. Okay, write penalty, it's called a write penalty, more write penalty.
Okay.
So your random write is not good in red TC, but you don't have to worry about that. You have to mainly what happens is that whenever you are creating, you are installing your on-tap operating system, your Netapp, you're creating your Netapp storage, you're installing your Netapp storage from scratch. It will automatically create the root aggregate, one root aggregate per node. If you have two nodes, so one root aggregate per nodes. Okay, so let me show you this. See, these are the thing. Aggregate 0 is always root aggregate. Root aggregate will have the on-tap operating system, not data. It will have the on-tap operating system. Okay, and it will also have the audit volumes. Okay, so what you can check, let me check what we have. Vol 0 hyphen aggregate. Okay, it is here 0. 1 second, why the type is not coming. Okay, 1 aggr 0. Yeah, so you can see this only vol 0 is there. Okay, and the size will be very less compared to data aggregates, data volumes. And the first one that is created by default, it will be created red DP. Okay, red DP. You can have aggregates, normal aggregates, or you can have mirror aggregates. Okay, so normally if you are having physical storage, we don't create mirror aggregates, because mirror aggregates means again you will waste some space, right? So we don't do that. But for software defined storage, we use mirror aggregates. Okay, so I
So
was saying,
this aggregate, what it so this aggregate have operating system information.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So this aggregate is having the operating system of node 1. This is node 1. Cluster 101 is node 1. Cluster 102 is node 2. Okay.
Okay, if this node got failed, uh, so this aggregate will move to the other cluster, other host, like other.
Exactly, yeah. These aggregate then will move to this node. Okay. If this node fails. Okay. Then
Okay,
once we correct this node, then we can fall back our aggregate
we have to
is
manually call back, or it will do automatically.
automatically, it will do, not manual. Automatically it will do. Okay. If you have high availability, how do you say high availability? See, these are the cluster, right?
Yes.
So this is high availability true. That means what? It means both the nodes are part of the cluster. Okay.
Okay.
So what is happening? So let me show you more things. It will take a lot of time, bro, to learn, because Netapp is different. Okay. So what is happening? This aggregate is created from this disk. This is showing VMW. Sorry, VMW, right? Why? Because this is simulator. That is why. Okay. This is not actually physical. Otherwise, it will show something else. Okay. So these are the disk. These are the disk from which this aggregate is created. Okay. So if you see like disk show. Okay. So we have this many disk. Okay. Okay. So initially the aggregate that is created, this aggregate I have not created. This is whenever you're installing the ONTAP, I'll have a class where I'll show you how to install ONTAP, how to install NetApp from scratch, both in physical storage, both for physical storage and for software defined storage. Okay, so here what is happening? So when the NetApp is installed, by default, by default it is taking RedDB. Okay, but so there is one thing. So so what it is doing, it is the minimum configuration for 8 DB is one data disk and two parity disks. Okay, so it is wasting three disks, right? Suppose you have a fast system like old model which is having like only 12 24 disk or 12 disks, right? So you are wasting 336 disks, right? So you're having less space for your data, your CFS shares, NFS exports, or your learn whatever you will create. Okay, so I will create some data gate also like AGGR1 or AGGR2. Okay, and I can use like RAID TEC or RAID 4, any different kind of RAID depending upon my requirement. Okay, so what is happening, it is losing some data, right? So now sorry, it is losing some space, right, because of the parity, right? So because of that, and sometimes the SSD disk will be there, right? So we don't want to waste the SSD disk because it is very expensive. Okay, so that to lessen the burden of root aggregate this space requirement, right? So what NetApp has introduced is ADP, Advanced Drive Partitioning. Okay, so what it does is it will divide the disk. It will divide the disk. What's the disk? Yeah, it will divide the disk. Okay, you can say share, right? Share means ADP is enabled. So it will divide the disk, okay, into different partitions, like two partitions, one small root partition, okay, and one very big larger data partition. Okay, so whatever root volume, root aggregate, everything is there, right? Root aggregate, so it will take the root partitions. Okay, and the data aggregate also, whenever we create the data aggregate, it will take the data partitions. Okay.
So, as per my understanding, this you mean to say that the aggregate 0 cluster 101 is whatever the drive it occupied, it is shared.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So suppose it occupies this, right? So this is also shared for data partition also. Okay, so I'll show that in commands. Okay.
Uh, One thing I want to ask you: this aggregate, it mm, in this aggregate there is a volume. Am I right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, in the volume, but it is volume. We will not create a volume in this aggregate. Am I right? Is it? We need to create a volume in this.
We will create this, but not for on-top operating system. This one is created automatically, but whenever we are creating for data aggregate is for shares, learns, NVMe, all these things, right? So we'll be creating data aggregate and data volume.
Okay, so it means the thin provisioning is there. The data is segregated between that, like it is like divided on the drives, but we can use that drives also for our other purpose.
Yes, for root purpose. Yes. So that is the thing. So here, whenever you are creating data aggregates, right, you are creating data volumes, right? So those data aggregates will be taken up from, created on some disk, right? And it will be defined some RAID on it. Aggregate is nothing but we are defining the RAID on disk. Okay, so that is what we are doing. So that will be also shared disk. So if you do not have ADP, it will not show shared here. Okay, so mostly you will have ADP in your environment also. Whenever you work, you'll get to see shared. I'll show you how to see that. Okay, just wait for a second. I'll show you how to see that. Okay, the thing is, when in NetApp you will have different models. Okay, so in NetApp you'll have models like FAS. Okay, you'll have models like AFF. Okay, this FAS is where you will have SATA, SAS, SSD disk. Okay, and all flash array you'll only have SSD disk. Okay, so this is expensive. So for flash array, what will happen during the time of installation, on tap installation, you have to uh, you know enable the ADP. Okay, so it will determine the size of the available disk, okay, to each node. Okay, so
So
this
what
is
is full form of fast is file.
I don't know the FAS full form, but we just call it as FAS. Okay, this is
Okay.
all flash. This is FAS. Okay, so uh, here what is that when you are doing that ADP configuration, right? You have to enable, like, during the time of installation only. This ADP will be enabled. Suppose you have not enabled that one during the time of installation, and you want to enable that one after the installation. Okay, so
Okay.
then what you have to do, you have to completely format the hard disk. You have to reinstall the on tap. There is no other way in FAS. But in all flash array, right, you can do after time of installation only. Suppose you have done installation, and then after installation also you can do that. Okay, so
Okay.
what is happening is that in all flash array, right, it is using SSD, right, instead of hard disk. It is using SSD. It is not having any mechanical disk. Okay, but here every ADP, right, what it will have is it will have three partitions. Okay, instead of two partitions that I said, right, it will have three partitions. In fast, two partitions. So one, three partitions is what? You'll have one root partition, small, very small. Okay, root partition. Okay, and two equal sized. Okay, equal sized data partition, data partitions. Okay, so for ADP. Okay, so let me show you this thing in command line. I can show these things in GUI also. Okay, whatever suits you. Okay, so both I can show you. So storage disk show. Netapp is little bit difficult to understand compared to other storages, but once you reread the things, redo the things, because in my session, sorry, in my training, I repeat the session, right. Nobody is available in the morning, that's why nobody joined. Okay, but if it is evening classes, then you see a lot of people are joining. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah.
So what is this VM 1.2.1.25
This is
26? This is a
this is
drive.
this is a drive, but this drive is showing like this because this is simulator.
Okay, okay. So
It's a
second
simulator.
second column is the space of the drive,
Yeah,
28.44 GB.
this is
Okay.
space of the drive, and this is showing the shelf ID. Okay, and this is a disk type. Okay,
Okay.
shared means ADP is there. This is the aggregate where which is using this disk, and this is a node where the node I mean where the disk is there. Physically, the disk is there. Okay, or on disk is owning. So every disk you installed or you configure, you have to make it owned by a node. Okay, so disk ownership is there. Okay, so
So
disk.
no, this disk is not shelf. It is showing bay. So it is on the first slot zero, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight,
What you
7.
don't understand, shared is a logical term. I'm not physically sharing it, it's a logical. I'm not cutting the disk, it's logically, because it is having partitions, one root partition, two data partition. That's why it is showing as shared. Shared means it is partition is there. You understand? Share means partition is there. Okay. Share means you
Okay.
have partitions. Okay. So if you do not have partitions, you will not see as shared. Okay. So what you see instead of share, what you will see if you do not have partitions? So you will see spare. Okay. Data. Okay. Parity, deparity. Okay. So these are the things you will see instead of
Okay.
shares, shared. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
If you do not have ADP.
Okay.
So here what I can see, how many disks we can see. Storage is show hyphen here the count hyphen fields disk. So this many disk you can see, okay. Almost 24 disk you can see, okay. And
Okay.
12 disk per node, okay. Down, down, down. So 12 disk per node, okay. So you can have 12 disk per node, okay. You can see here.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
want it to, suppose I have some disk, okay. uh, I want like disk show hyphen disk, maybe this disk, okay. Fields, okay. So I have, okay. So this disk কি হলো? হ্যাঁ চা খাবো, চা খাবো, গরম জল খাবো না। So চা খাবো, চা খাবো। হুম। So this disk is owned by this node, okay. Now suppose what will happen, suppose this node is down, so then this disk will be failed over to the other node which is alive, okay. And suppose I want to change the ownership of the disk, okay. So maybe this disk, okay. I want to change the ownership, so hyphen owner, okay. So instead of 0 1, I want it to 0 1, okay. 0 to 0 1. It's already owned, so it will give me command failure. So initially whenever I install the disk, it will not be assigned to anyone. You have the option to do auto assign, okay. Auto assign, okay. If you do not have the auto assign, then you have to manually assign it, okay. You have to manually assign it, and the command to assign it is this one, storage disk assign, and then this, because it already is already owning by a disk, so that's why I'm not able to do. So for that, what you can do, second, okay. uh, you can also unassign a disk, okay. Not recommended, but you can unassign disk, okay. So let me show you. Disk is assigned, okay. I'll just do this. I should not, normally I don't do this, okay. I'm trying to just show you that it is possible. But let me take some other disk. Sorry, not take this disk because I don't know. One second. We know this one. So what it is showing, it will be automatically assigned because auto assign is enabled, okay. Let me just do this. So here again it is showing like shared. So what you see, if a disk is shared, it is already assigned, then you cannot remove the ownership, okay. But if the disk is normal disk, then you can own, so you cannot do nothing, you cannot really change the ownership, okay, here. So it is not possible.
So it is not.
Whenever you
So
install, yeah.
once we have new system, when we install the on tap environment like all the OS, so all the disks are owned by the controllers, like both controllers.
No, it will be like you have 24 disks, right? So 12 disk one controller, 12 disk another controller, okay?
Okay,
So
if in future we add one more disk in the chassis,
hmm.
then
So yeah, see then what will happen? If you have auto assign enabled, okay, then automatically the system will decide where to assign the disk. But if auto assign is not there, you can do manual design assign using the command storage disk assign, okay? using this command you can assign the disk. Okay, like storage disk assign, and then hyphen, this is auto. Okay, this is not you are doing, this is auto, so this is the one you will do, hyphen owner, this one. So this is the command normally you do, but if it's already auto assigned, then you cannot do anything. It automatically
Okay.
system will assign the disk. Okay, and suppose you want to see some spare disk we have, right? Spare disk. So how do you see this? Spare means disk which are not used by any aggregates. Okay, or which are there for suppose some disk failure happened, something happened, right? So for those things. Okay, so let me go to owner. Okay, so uh, these are the disk which are spare disk. Okay, spare disk. Zero means what? Zero means formatting is done. Zero means it will when you get a disk, you need to do, there are two formats, quick format and normal format. Quick format means format will happen quickly. So when you are doing formatting, it will write 00000 on your disk, so it is called as zeroing. Okay, zeroing. Every vendor will have this concept, zeroing concept. Okay, so what you can see here, root, data 1, data 2. So what I said, that every disk will have three partition, right? One small root partition and two equal size data partition, right? So you can see this here. Okay, root, data 1, data 2. Okay,
So what is this written? Local root usable.
yeah, this is local root usable, this is local data usable. So what does it mean? That means these two disks, okay, here, this is used for the data aggregates. I mean, this will be used for the data aggregates, this will be used for the root aggregates. Okay, and this is free, but here this is already used by the root aggregates. That's why it is showing a 0. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let me show you, one second.
So 37, 38, 39, 40 to 46, all the disks are used by root.
Yes, yes, yes. Used by root means what? Not the whole capacity. This 3.58 GB capacity only here. Only 3.58 GB capacity from those things, okay, are used by the root. Okay, you can see here 37, where it is. It is a root aggregate, right? It
Wait,
is used, right?
VM 37, 38, 39, 40,
Yeah.
41,
But
42,
but
43,
you do
45.
not see. Let me show you this one also. One second. What is the command, bro? One second. Okay. Now you see this 47, 48. Do you see anywhere? Do you see this used anywhere here? No, right?
No, in the below command, I see only 25, 26, 27, 28 to 34.
Yes. So these two disks are free basically.
Which one? The 47 and 48?
Yes, the last two disks. These two disks are free because it is showing that this space is also free, this space is also free. Okay, but this disk, it is used. The data partition is free, but the root partition is not free. It is already used. You can see here, right? You can see 45 here, right? Here, do you see 45 here? So it is used, right, in this aggregate. You understand, right?
No, but my question is all the space is used or
No, not all the space. Only the root partition. Only the root partition used, not this data partition, because we have not created any data aggregate yet. So data partition is not used. Okay.
okay, okay. So so in the 47 48, 3.55 GB is written. What does it mean?
This is your root partition. We can use this for root partition, but we have not used it yet. So it is free. It is free. Free means this much space is free. Here, this much space is free. Zero byte means it's not free. Nothing is free.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Local root usable, this column. This column is representing what? This is representing the space available for root partitions. and it is 0 byte. Okay, so
Okay.
we do not have anything, so we are not having any available space for the root partition. Okay,
Okay.
so that is the one it is showing. Okay, yeah, and there is one more thing we'll show you. Let me show this. Okay, same command but different way of doing things. Okay, okay, so what you can see here, this cluster is having partition disk. Okay, so it is showing you that this is having partition disk. You are having the ADP configured. Okay, in normal, whenever you do not have ADP configured, this command will work, but for ADP this command will not work. Okay, so how will you see that? You see this command. Okay, okay, so you can see here, so this is the first node. This first node is having this aggregate, this root aggregate. Okay,
Yes.
and this root aggregate is having uh, this RAID groups. Okay, RAID DP. Okay, and you are having this disk. From this disk you are using the space here. What space you are using? You are using this space. Okay, the root space. Okay, because this is root aggregate, right? You're not using the data space. Okay,
Okay.
so
And what is PLEX Plex?
yeah, the plex is nothing but it's it's very difficult. I will tell you this. Okay,
Okay.
so uh, suppose you have one cluster, right? One two node cluster, then all the aggregate will come into one plex. Okay, one plex. Okay, so normally we'll have only one plex per cluster. Okay, suppose let me show you this. Okay, so you can see here, you can see here this is showing the plex informations, and normally you can see here, right, it is having many plex here. Okay, but normally we'll have only one plex. Okay, I'll give you example on this later on. It needs to have some diagram.
Okay.
This image. Okay, I will tell you later on this. Okay, it's I need to find out some diagram. Okay, so, mm, for now we can treat it, call it as one, just one plex means one. We can call it like one entity. Okay, so whatever data we are having, you see only one plex. You never see two plexes. You never see two plexes. Okay, so this is just an example.
But here it is written in Plex 0,
Yeah,
Plex
but this
0,
is
Plex
example.
0.
I'm checking the manual page, man page. This is
Okay.
not my operating system. I'm checking the man. Like in Linux, you do man, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. So this is okay. I thought it's a command.
I'm just checking the sample commands, outputs, just to show you. This is
Okay,
not existing here.
okay, okay.
Mm. And suppose you want to check which partitions are used by which owners, which partitions are used in which aggregate, which disk partitions, then you have to go to the. So in Netapp there are different modes: diag mode, privilege mode, advanced mode. admin mode. This mode is admin mode, okay, the one we are in. So I'll go to, if you want to run some critical commands, right, you have to go to the diag mode, okay, diag. So set privilege, okay,
No,
then
so
you see
which mode we are working right now?
admin mode, admin. We
So
are in admin mode.
how do we know that we are in admin mode, we are in privilege or something, whatever the modes are there?
That is difficult to say. I mainly, if you are in some advanced mode or diagnostic mode, right, you see this star, okay,
Yes.
and if the star is not showing, then you are in admin mode, okay.
If star is
But
not showing, we are in admin mode. If
yeah,
star is there, we are in privilege.
yeah, either privilege, sorry, not privilege. Privilege is not, privilege is just a command. Advanced mode or diagnostic mode, okay. Advanced mode
Advanced.
or diagnostic. You
So
can use this command also. Hyphen set D. This is also work, okay. Sorry, set. Okay, this is also command. So set.
no, what is the use of these commands? So like admin, what is admin? What is privilege? And diagnostic, what is this?
Add. There are some commands which you cannot execute in admin mode. You have to go to the diagnostic mode or advanced mode. The commands are not available because those commands can make or break your system, so that they don't want anyone to run those commands.
Okay, so we have admin, we have advanced, we have diagnostic. We have three things, am I right?
And you have test.
Okay, it total is four. So admin,
Hmm.
advanced, diagnostic, test,
But I have never used the test mode.
and diagnostic.
Yeah, diagnostic I'm using it right now.
No, you are using diagnostic right now,
Yeah, yeah, yes.
and advanced is used for.
Advanced is used for advanced mode. I mean, same thing only. So let me show you this, okay. So these are the commands available in your diagnostic mode, okay. And if you go to advanced mode, set advanced question mark. So these are the commands available in advanced mode, okay. Is it same? Let me check. No, it's not same, right? You can see different command, right? So
Yeah.
depending upon what you want to do, sometimes you may require diagnostic, sometimes you may require advanced, okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'll, yeah. So that is the thing, bro. So let me again go to diagnostic mode. Okay. So the problem with Netapp is why this is. So let me just disk partition. Okay. See, in Netapp, the problem with Netapp is you will have lot of things, lot of concepts. Okay. So it will take time.
Okay.
So this is giving you a very nice output, right? Like it will show you, right, that this is a disk 1.37.
Mm-hmm.
This is partitioned into three partitions, right?
Yes.
So this P3 partition, this is your root partition, and this is being used in the root aggregate. You can see, right? Already you can see this
Yes.
is your root, yeah, root aggregate. Like, okay, you can see this, and
Yes.
the other two are spare. Spare means we have not used it yet. Okay, in any aggregate, so that's why it is showing as spare. Okay,
Okay.
and whenever you create data aggregates, we can use this partitions. Will not mention like partition, will mention like disk. It will automatically decide. that to use the partitions.
Okay.
Okay, so this is something there. This is very important thing, not many people will know this. Okay, now I will tell you about aggregates. So what is basically aggregate? So aggregate is basically a group of disk on a node. Okay, a node, it can have multiple aggregates. Okay,
Okay.
and there are concept like storage virtual machine, SVM. So whenever you are accessing some data from storage, right, so you have to create some volume, right?
Yes.
Whenever you're creating volume, you need to mention the aggregate, and also you need to mention the v server, on which v server is nothing but a container which will contain the volumes, which will contain the data. Okay, it's just a container.
Okay, so whenever we assign the volume, we have to assign the aggregate and vserver.
Yeah, no. You have to select where the data will be there. So aggregate, you have to select v server, where how the data will be accessed. Okay, so v server is SVM. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so we can have like multiple SVM or v server to use same aggregate. Okay, we
Okay.
can do that. Okay, so and aggregate we are using to utilize the RAID concept. So we'll be using multiple disks, we'll aggregate them together, we'll be defining RAID on it. Okay, so by default Netapp recommends what? RAID DP, which is nothing but the, we had the RAID 6 in different storages, right? So which is RAID 6, RAID DP. It prevents against data loss when the two disks fail in the RAID group. Okay, and
Okay.
whenever you're installing the Netapp on-top operating system, it will create the root aggregates per node. Okay, and this root aggregate we should not use to host and user data, so it will only be used for the on-top operating system. Okay, if you want to use host user data, then we need to create aggregates. Okay, data
Okay.
aggregates.
So right
So
now
that you
it's 10:40 already for me. 1 hour is done. So
okay, we just create one aggregate. Okay,
you want to create
just
an aggregate. Okay. And please also copy the list of the commands you have done. So I want to try from my end. Okay.
mm,
So I will also want to check the output.
yeah, sure. So aggregate create. Okay, so let me create some data aggregate. So I'll name like aggr1 underscore data
Okay.
underscore. Okay, something like to mention to understand that which cluster it is owning, right? So I'll mention this. So in I'm mentioning this so that I understand. So node. Okay, I have an invalid name.
No, I
Why?
think we have to put the node, I think, in the front because we are mentioning the node
No, not required. That's not a problem.
aggregate. So name is aggregate data dot one.
Yeah, that's just, it's okay. It's not a problem. The problem why it's happening is underscore. Okay, it takes underscore but it does not take hyphen. It will not take hyphen. Okay, so that is the issue. No, it is not taking this one also. Okay, no problem. Mm,
Just use a short name. Simple.
no, it will work. It will work. So we'll select some node. This one. Okay, and discount will take 5 disks. I will not specify any rate groups. So I just wanted to check what is by default. It is taking rate DP. Okay. So what it is doing? It is three data disk. Okay, two parity disk. Okay.
Okay, so what is in the bottom is the same thing
Yeah.
because you have two outputs. One is VM 3737. Okay,
Mm. Because what it is doing is it is partitioning the size, right? So that's how it is taking it 12 12. It is 12 bit showing, it's 12 bit showing. You understand, right? Total 24 is taking, but 12 12 it's taking. You understand, right, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, how many discs you have taken? You have mentioned the disk numbers.
Five disk, five disk.
So, so which drives they have taken? Like in the chassis, we if we have 15 drives, the first five drive is taken.
Yes, yes, yes. First five drive. Whatever. Yes, first five drive. Yes, yes, yes.
It's possible that if we have D five DAs, I want first disk of first DA, second disk of
Yeah,
second
yeah,
DA.
yeah. I'll show you. I'll show you this one. Okay, it is possible. Let me show you how it is possible. Okay. So discount five I'm taking. Then disk list. Okay. 1 second. I can check the disk also. Okay. Mm, if my command is wrong because disk list. Okay. Mm, yeah. So I can check. Suppose you want to check some disk, right? Suppose you want to take, so you can take this one, this disk. Okay. Suppose I want to make from three disk. Okay. Instead of five disk I want to make three disk. Okay. So I can do this, right? And rate type also you can check. So instead of so you want to check what rate type, so let me check rate 4. Okay. Okay. Enter. Okay. So it is doing rate 4, and these are the disk it is taking, right? So I have given the disk here, right? So
Okay. So we have to mention the disk name in the disk list.
yes, 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 yes.
So whenever we creating the aggregate, we have to mention the RAID group. We have to mention the node type and
Yeah, yeah.
number of disks.
Yes, yes. And if you do not mention, by default automatically it will take rate 5. Rate DP. Rate 5 is rate DP, means dual parity. Okay. By
Okay.
default. So that is something there. Okay. And if you want to check whether this thing is done or not, job show, it will show that aggregate is done, right? Success, right? It is successful.
Okay.
Aggregate creation is successful. Okay. If you want to check the commands, you leave, right? So you want to check more about that particular aggregate, so you can do that. Okay. With the hyphen instance command. Okay. So you will check rate dp, size, whether it is online or not. uh, Here snap log is nothing but, suppose you have some data, you don't want anyone to change the data, then you'll have snap log. It is only for read ons, wonk file system, read once, sorry, write once, read many times. Okay. So it is for some images, some documents you don't want to change. Okay. So you can enable the snap lock here. Okay. So it has, I have seen this in use in one of the projects, which is Novartis, but I've never used it any other projects. Okay.
So
This
I didn't get the snap lock. What is this?
snap lock means, if you enable this snap lock, you'll be not be able to uh, change the data in any of the volumes. Okay.
How we change the data? Like it is read only or like
Yeah, it's a read only. Yes, yes, yes. It's a read only. You can say it's a read only. Read only means initially you put the data, whatever data you put, right? Then you cannot delete the data. You cannot delete the data, or you cannot alter the data. You understand, right?
so we can
But you
change
can you
we
can
can change
you
this
can
out.
read, but you can read the data. You can read it. You can read the documents. You cannot change the documents. Okay.
So this we can change it.
You can only change it once there will be some retention policy. Okay, like this snap log is there for 30 days. After 30 days over, then you can change it. Okay. Before that you cannot do anything. You have to wait for the uh, retention policy to expire.
So do we need any license for this feature?
No, no, you'll have it. You'll have this license by default. They will give you license. Snap log. You don't need to pay money. Like whenever you're creating on tab, sorry, whenever you are buying Netapp product, right? They'll give you this license. It's not a
Okay.
problem. Okay. So tomorrow, so not tomorrow, but next session we'll discuss on network, which is a very good concept. Network concepts. Okay. So
Okay.
there I will teach you a lot of things, so you can understand.
Okay. So
In Netapp, right? In Netapp, the problem in Netapp is Hitachi is limited, but Netapp is unlimited. That's the problem. Means it has no end. There are a lot of things are there, but normally you don't need beyond what I teach you. Okay,
okay. Okay.
beyond what I teach you, you don't need, because even that also you don't need. But it's better if you know. Okay, so whatever I'm here, right? You don't need more than this. Okay, this
Okay.
39 use cases, right? You don't need more than this. Actually, it will become 44. I will discuss some more actually here, but you don't need this. Okay, for Hitachi, this is something else.
Okay.
But in reality, what is this? Netapp is always buying, sorry, making something,
Okay.
making some new things. Okay, so in reality, you'll have lot of new things. Okay,
Okay.
lot of new things. So uh,
So
you
okay.
don't worry about that. So I will do this. Okay, next tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. What is today? Uh, yeah, tomorrow we'll do that. Today is Friday, right? Saturday. Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow, do you need it to be morning or it can be other time?
Yeah, I will be available in your morning only. I have
Morning only.
after the office is here like yeah.
Saturday also you have office.
This Saturday, my morning. Sorry, your morning. I
Got
can.
it, got it, got it, got it. One day before, yes, yes, one day before. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we are one day ahead of you, right?
Yes.
Got it, got it. That's the problem. So tomorrow I'll show you these concepts. Okay, what is a logical interface? What is a subnet is not created? What is a subnet? Okay, what is interface group? What is VLAN? Okay, what is DNS?
Okay.
Sorry, DNS. What is route? What is vServer? Okay, what is these things I will show you. Okay, what is VLAN? Okay, so what is IP space?
Okay.
What is broadcast domain? Broadcast domain. What is failover policy? So all these network device discovery. So all these things I will show you tomorrow. These things. Okay.
Okay.
So once your basic is done, then you can easily understand other things.
So okay.
But basic is the one which is very difficult, that you have to understand, because a lot of my trainees, right, uh, they're not able to understand properly, so they had to repeat the sessions. So suppose somebody is good in Hitachi or he is working Hitachi and he started learning data from me, but he's not able to understand. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing I will do for you. Okay, one second. So I will uh, share, not a, sorry, manage customers channel. Okay, so I will share, uh, let me just